Welcome to Stevenson House After Hours. This is our first podcast to celebrate our 200th anniversary. My name is Jeffrey, and I'll be your host throughout your podcast experience. We have our director, Roxanne Razor, here to give us more information about the Stevenson House. Hello, Roxanne. How are you?
Hi, Jeffrey. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. All right, just have a few questions for you about the Stevenson House.
Okay.
The first one is, who was Benjamin Stephenson and who built this house?
Well, Benjamin Stephenson built the house, he and his wife Lucy, and I like to think of Ben as kind of one of our founding fathers for Illinois. He and Lucy and his family moved into the territory in 1809 when it was opened up. And they actually lived in Kaskaskia for several years and didn't move up here until about 1816 maybe. And then they started construction finally on this house in 1820. And so, but he was kind of a mover and shaker of his day. He had a lot of influential friends. Ninian Edwards was a very dear friend, and various other political individuals such as James Madison, who appointed him sheriff.
James Madison.
Yes, James Madison. So he was a mover and shaker of his day, but he's just not someone that we typically know a lot about today. I mean, it's not like we teach about Benjamin Stephenson in school books, but you know, he was fairly important in his day, and I think he tended to be kind of quiet and soft-spoken, but he got a lot done. He was kind of known for that, especially in Washington, where he was one of the representatives to Congress. So, I mean, he was a jack of all trades. He did all kinds.
So he built this house and he was a representative to Congress. What other kind of jobs did Stevenson have throughout the territory and the state?
Well, when they first came into the territory, he was sheriff down in Kaskaskia. And then when he came up here, he became receiver of public monies at the land office. He operated a mercantile for a while, and he was a politician. So, you know, he just did a variety of things. We don't know, you know, what his formal education was. We've not been able to find that, so I can't tell you if he was trained to be a specific thing, but those are the jobs that we are aware of that he did.
Gotcha. So it's the Colonel Benjamin Stephenson House, right?
Correct.
So he was a military man. How did he become a military man? Do you have an idea?
He was in the militia. He was in the Illinois militia, and he fought in the War of 1812. And he actually was a major during the war, and by the end of the war he had made colonel, so he in reality wasn't a colonel during the majority of the war, but you know, after you earn a title like that, that's something that you're going to be pretty proud of. So he was known as the colonel after that.
Known as the Colonel.
Yes, sir.
Now, he built this house 1820, so that means it's 200 years old this year. Obviously, he's not going to be living in this house for 200 years. How did this house stand for 200 years?
Well, I think part of it, one, we don't make houses like this anymore, first of all, and it was very well made, but this was also a residence. Somebody has lived in this house from the day that it was built or finished until the city purchased it in 1999 and the restoration began, but somebody was living here. And you know, when you have someone living in a building, it tends to stay up a little bit better. But that's probably how it managed, just because people were maintaining it.
So no one lives in the house now, it's just a museum?
Nope, nobody lives in the house now, it's just a museum.
Just a museum. So if people were to come visit the Stevenson House, what could they expect to find here?
Well, we're kind of different when it comes to being a museum. We're not what we call a velvet rope tour. All of our docents are dressed in period clothing, and we do a lot of hands-on with visitors. And when you come here, you're going to, we hope, feel like you're visiting Stevenson's, not a velvet rope museum. And you know, we've all been to those museums where if you lean over too far, the alarms go off. In this case, you get to walk into the exhibits, you get to sit down on the furniture, you get to handle things, you know, you'll get to see people cooking in the kitchen, if that happens to be something that's going on that day. But it's more of a visit to the Stevensons, not to a museum.
That sounds fantastic. I'm sold.
I think it sounds fantastic too.
So, do you guys do any other special events or programs that visitors can come and do or anything?
Well, we do all kinds of special events. This year we're actually trying to do a few extras that are a little bit more geared toward the 200th anniversary of, our birthday or anniversary, however you want to look at it. So we have a lot of little workshops that'll be going on throughout the year, but we try to keep our website and our Facebook page and all of our social media apps up to date. So if we add an event, it's real easy to find it. So they can just check out our website. And
well, perfect. So if anyone's curious what the website is, it's www.stevensonhouse.org, and that's where you'll find this podcast. Also, you can find this podcast on YouTube. So if you have any other questions or curiosities, you can always check out their website. Well, thanks, Roxanne, for coming on the podcast.
You're welcome.
And I hope to talk to you again soon.
Oh, you will.
All right, friends. Till next time.